Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Ruba, and in this series of videos, Tatreez 101, we will talk about Palestinian embroidery, also known as Tatreez. In the previous video, we talked about what Tatreez is, and I showed you a few examples. In today's video, we will talk about the materials and tools you will need to do Tatreez. For this video, we will keep it short, but in the next few videos, we will go in depth for some of them. Okay, let's start. The first thing we need is fabric. There are so many kind of fabrics that we could use to stitch on, but for a Tatreez beginner, I would usually recommend using Aida fabric count 11 or 14. Aida fabric comes in different counts and colors, and we will talk about Aida fabric and what this count number means in the next video. We could also use fabrics like linen, lugana, or any open or even weave fabric. If, however, your fabric does not fall in this category, that doesn't mean that you cannot stitch on it. It just simply means you need something extra to help you do your stitching, something like waste canvas. Waste canvas is another material that we might need in Tatreez. It helps guide our stitching on fabrics that are not easy to stitch on. Once we're done stitching, we simply pull the threads of the waste canvas, leaving the stitches on the fabric we chose. Waste canvas also come in different counts, just like Aida. Next, we need embroidery needle. I use cross-stitch needles size 22 or 24 for Aida fabric count 11 or 14. Needles also come in different sizes, and we will talk about choosing the right needle for you in another video. We also need embroidery threads. You could use embroidery floss number 25 like this one, or the one most commonly used in Palestine, which is the pearl cotton size 8, which comes in balls like this. Both of these comes in a variety of colors. We will talk about embroidery threads in a separate video, and I will show you how we use each one of these. You could also use silk threads, or sometimes we use this type of metallic corded thread we call qasab. But qasab is usually used for a specific type of Palestinian embroidery, and we will talk about it in a future video when I show you how to do that stitch. We also need scissors to cut the thread or to cut our fabric. And lastly, we need the design or the pattern that we need to stitch. So these are the basic tools and materials that we need to start our Tatreez journey. Before we go, I would like to share with you a few extra materials that we might use when doing Tatreez. The first one is hoops, frames, and Q-snaps. These usually are used in two different ways. Sometimes people use these to attach their fabric before they work on it to make it more sturdy and easy to stitch on. They also use things like hoop, for example, to frame their finished piece so that they can easily display it or hang it on a wall. Next is thimble, and thimble is this little thing that you see in front of you, which basically you just slide over your finger to provide protection from needle pokes. It comes in different materials. Some are metals, some are plastic, some are rubber or leather. But the idea of it is just very simple. You slide it over the finger you want to protect and use it while you work on your piece. Some people like to use them. I personally don't like the feeling that something is over my finger, so I don't use them much, but they work for some people and they do protect your fingers if you get poked a lot by the needle. So we could also use regular sewing threads, and these we could use them to either protect our fabric edges from fraying or to attach our waste canvas to the fabric that we want to stitch on. Measuring tape or ruler, and obviously we're going to use these to measure the fabric size that we want to cut or our thread length, basically a measuring tool. Thread wax, which is a type of wax that we use over our thread to kind of provide protection for it from fraying. When you're going through the fabric, that fraction between the fabric and the thread can make your thread weaker and make it fray over time. So this provides a little extra protection for your thread. Gridding thread, which is this thin red thread that you could use to kind of divide your fabric into sections, kind of like a grid, and that helps you kind of easily count and know where to place your stitches. This is really helpful when you are working on a super big project and you want to just know where to start and where is the center and where to place your stitches and things like that. Next are these bobbins and the tool that help you wrap your thread around them, and these are usually used to organize your threads. A lot of people use them. I personally don't like to use them much because I feel like they wrinkle your threads more than I personally prefer. So usually I keep my threads in the floss, unless they become so messy and harder to keep that way, then I look for other ways of storing them. And you don't have to buy these, you can always make something at home, but they are available and usually they are super cheap, so that's why a lot of people tend to buy them to organize their threads. We have this magnifying glass, which helps if you have a weaker eyesight or you are someone who likes to stitch a lot at night. We also have a needle minder or a pincushion to kind of secure your needle when you're not working on it. A needle minder is basically this magnet that you attach to your fabric, and when you're done working with your needle, you can just simply have the magnet hold it for you so you don't lose your needle and you don't poke your fabric. Same with the pincushion, you could use it to hold your needle, or if you're using pen, you could use that to kind of store them or hold them. Fabric pencils or washable markers that you could use to draw your design on the fabric and then stitch it, and after that you can wash your fabric and then the marks from these pencils can be removed, so you could use these to draw your designs. We have also things like pens, fray check, which is type of liquid that you could use on your edges or seams to stop fabric from fraying. And last but not least is this seam ripper, which you could use when you do mistakes to kind of remove your stitches all at once instead of removing them one by one. Alright, well these are some of the tools and the materials that we could use that I thought of. If you are doing Tatreez already, please do share with us the materials and tools you use to do Tatreez in the comments down below. In the next video, we will take a closer look at Aida fabric. Until then, please make sure to share, like, and subscribe to this channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!